Good evening, or morning, or afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Alternative Possibilities, where we have no clue in what direction we are going.
Usually around and around.
Totally. And you know what? I think I forgot to turn off my notifications. I didn't think I'd need them for this one person, and they're getting with me. But anyhow, I am Lisa Hauserman, and
I, I'm smoking in G sharp.
we're here to do something, even if it's wrong.
Yeah, but it feels so right.
It does feel right.
Yeah, I
So
think
this
so.
is our second show with the new name, but it's the same material that we had in Oregon, Pennsylvania, SOC. Have no fear, we're going to be woo.
That's right. We're going to rock the boat.
Don't rock the boat, baby. We were going to go live, but I wasn't sure. It's kind of hard to keep up when you're trying to do topics, and so we decided to just record. So that's what we're doing tonight. Welcome, everybody. G, did you want to start off, or would you like me to start bloviating?
Oh, go ahead, Lisa.
Okay, here's what floors me totally, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm sure you're tired of hearing about it, but I'm going to talk a little bit more. I just can't get over the framing of all of the media, including most of the alternative media, except there there's a handful that are very actually alternative. Um, when it comes to the alleged pandemic, and I've explained before why I call it an alleged pandemic because I don't see evidence other than the media driven situation that this is unfolding. And plus, I have a completely different um, view based on knowledge, not my belief system, on germ theory and some research I've done there. But it just drives me to drink every time I walk through the kitchen and perpetuals out there watching what it doesn't matter what show because the commercials come on and it's just pharmaceutical, this, that, and the other thing. And then if he happens to have the news on, they're all talking about the jab, the jab that you get to supposedly this one doesn't even claim that it will stop prevent the spread, by the way. Not sure if people knew that. I just feel like I'm living in a giant pharmaceutical commercial. I really do. You can't get away from it. From the beginning, gosh, I'm never going to shut up. I will. From the very beginning, this thing was suspicious. And the reason why is every place you would go online, like I have Napster, where you pay a fee per month and then you can download music. I actually pay for my downloads. I know I'm old fashioned that way. But I would get on there to download something and there's like COVID information. Go here. And you go to do your banking and there's that word. Every place you go, it is there. And the first time I remember this new normal situation, hearing about the new normal, I can tell you exactly when it was, and I wonder why they said it this early. It was in mid-March last year, March of 2020, when all of a sudden everything was being closed down, locked down. People were freaking out, clutching pearls. The world's coming to an end. This thing's going around and round and round. And one of my clients, who is she's a marketing, kind of the director, I guess, of a place called Northwestern REC. It's a electric co-op. She got with me and wanted to get information out about their new normal. I find that a little bit suspicious in March of 2020 when they didn't know what was, supposedly didn't know what was going on here. I'm just tired of it. I'm sick of it. I can't believe it. I'm fed up with it. You cannot get away from it. Period. Okay. I will mute my microphone and allow others to speak.
No, that's absolutely great. I love that line. We are living in a pharmaceutical commercial. Everything now is completely aligned around this health stuff. And I have a couple things to say about this. This is where I'm at in life. One, my health is no one's business. Two, to expect me to have any control over others' health is insane. And three, I don't care what you say about these masks, they do nothing. And I'm going to tell you how I know this. Put on a mask and have someone 3-4 feet away spray pepper spray, mace, anything you can buy off the counter. It's really light stuff, but it's potent, don't get me wrong. And spray it on you wearing that mask. And I guarantee you, you will have just as an immediate reaction to the chemicals as if you were not wearing the mask. And what's really interesting is the particles in these chemicals are much, much bigger than the virus. Much bigger. and they still will get in and around these masks. I guarantee you, you will feel it. You'll breathe it in. You'll see how worthless it really is. And
Well,
that's
not
all.
only, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was going to say not only that, but I mean, you can look at videos and stuff of people vaping, and they'll take a drag and then put on the mask and it comes out. Look, like she said, the whole what they're calling a virus, the size of it is microscopic. And this is what I try to explain to people. How does something microscopic get prevented from getting into your system by way of a piece of cloth slapped over your face? And that's basically what they're okay with, just having a piece of cloth over your face, a bandana, a pair of old gym shorts, whatever. It's just unreal. I can't.
Well, and that's a great point, Lisa. See, they're not directing people to do health safety. They're just simply saying cover your face, cover your face, cover your face. You can walk in with anything. Trust me, I have. I had a hair scarf at first. I finally got a more professional type mask simply because it goes around my ears and it stays up and I don't have to fuss with it. And it looks really cool, by the way. People see me coming in, they're going, "Whoa, what's that old lady?" Yeah. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, they're absolutely worthless as far as a health. I mean, even if you're driving down the street on a motorcycle and you wear what I'm wearing, you're still going to get dust, dirt, grime. I mean, it only prevents the flies from getting in your mouth. That's it.
Well, exactly. And I just don't understand why people don't stop and ask themselves a few questions. And also, like, I wrote this in my column back in the day when I wrote a column. If it was so dangerous and hideous and blah blah blah, they would have like biohazard receptacles all over different towns so that you could throw them away. They, according to their own germ theory, the second you touch that mask, it's moot. It's done. It's ruined because according to germ theory, you pick up the germs and whatnot by touching. And then the fussing with the mask, which is something that Fauci talked about long ago, that nobody should be walking around in one. But we all forget that now, don't we?
Yeah, and thank you for bringing up our new, speaking of health, our new health administrator. And Gerald Celente made an excellent point.
I'm cracking up already. I'm sorry. I'll mute.
Okay, it is not that Rachel Levine is a transsexual, though there are actual health complications that come along with transing either M to F, F to M. They both have problems with the other's hormones, let's put it that way. But the fact that this person is not healthy, she's got two going on three chins here. And I'm not being critical, I'm just being practical. Why would you follow somebody who's taking care of themselves like this?
Exactly. And the reason why I was cracking up is because I also heard who I call Gerald Clementi or whatever. I never say his name right. But he was going on about it, and I about was spewing my coffee across the room because it's exactly what he did say. It doesn't matter the other thing, whatever. I don't care. But I don't really want to take my advice from somebody who doesn't look like an outstanding or an upstanding representation of a healthy frame.
Yes. And they always say, when you are choosing a new doctor, look at them.
I had to get rid of her.
Yeah, I got that a minute.
Now
Very good.
she was our Pennsylvania. What was funny is I'll just tell the audience. G Sharp and I were talking, and I don't really, keep up with who Biden's doing what with her. The agenda moves on no matter who the puppet is. That's my feeling. By evidence, I can see this happening. No matter what puppet is in, the agenda moves forward, and it's never the agenda of the people. In this case, it's the World Economic Forum, and you can easily see this by looking them up online. They're not hiding it. Anyhow, G Sharp and I were talking one night like this, but we weren't recording. And she said that Biden picked a transsexual. Is that the correct word? I don't want to get the
Yes.
words wrong.
Good.
But I didn't understand that she said Biden. I thought she was talking about out in Oregon. They have a transsexual person that's in charge of the health department or whatever. And I'm like, we do too. How weird. Well, here I didn't hear her right. And it was the same person, but Biden has chosen Rachel to lead the pack in terms of the health thing. So I
Yeah.
thought, what a coincidence that we both have these transsexuals in the health
Yeah,
department, and
you didn't know that she was like all over the place.
I did not know what was going on. I mean, I just whatever.
Yeah. No, it's very true. And I'm speaking of transsexuals, I hope the audience doesn't mind this, but I'm trying to make a point here. Can I share this screen? Let me share this. Now, we've heard for a long time that Michelle is a transsexual. And looking at this picture and having some experience being around various transsexuals, I'm going to have to concur that Michelle was our first transsexual lady.
Well, there I haven't delved into this deeply, but I have seen photos and whatnot. And evidently, Joan Rivers. I saw this little clip. Did you ever see the Joan Rivers clip where she
I
claimed?
did, yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't know. It's just this is something G Sharp said. I'm going to surprise you with something. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's about the Obamas.
Well, I'm just saying, after a fashion, they're going to have photos and situations like this where you can clearly see that Michelle has actually better shoulders than Barack. I mean,
I think so. I was really surprised over some of the pictures I saw. I'm not drawing any conclusions here, but it's just a little weird.
yeah, and I'm just like I said, trust me, I am so not anti-transsexual at all. Okay,
I know. Yeah, totally.
that'd be a funny story. But I'm just saying it what it
Oh,
is.
that story. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
That's okay. But yeah, that one. Yeah, I think we're getting my bottom line here, Lisa, is we're getting bamboozled in all directions. We're being told up is down, right is left. Michelle is a natural woman. You know, and
It,
then we come to this day right here in 2021 where people want to believe that there's this oogie boogie pandemic going out there. And I'm going to say right now, I live in Portland, Oregon, and the only thing I'm seeing dying? Businesses. That's all. So
that's exactly right.
there's a real grift. I love that word going on here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll read this for those who can't see. My cat Zoe's in here now. She might yell. She does that sometimes. Thank you, government, for protecting me from a flu by completely destroying my livelihood, my job, my income, my marriage, my family, my health, my freedoms, and liberties. And then it says, thanks a lot. And of course, it shows the boot on the neck or on the face of this. And for those just listening at home tonight, yeah, I mean, the whole thing is just the reaction to it's crazy. That's why for a long time I've been saying it doesn't matter if you believe in that there's a this killer virus going around, what it is, if it was made, if it was natural, if it doesn't exist at all, it does not matter. It's the reaction to it. It's the
Hmm.
reaction to it that is absolutely over the freaking top wrong. And
Yep.
now even the well, for quite a while now, the world, not the World Economic Forum, but the other thing, the WHO, I think it was. Yeah, not the band from across the pond, but the other WHO. They they said that these lockdowns don't do any good, and that's coming from one of these organizations to whom we're supposed to listen with rapt attention and believe everything they say. So what's the deal here? It's clearly to cover up for an economic crash that
Hmm.
happened, like you said, it was happening all along.
It
And
was. It
yeah, now
is.
that this whole thing is going to be changed with this Build Back Better and all the stuff from the World Economic Forum, please, ladies and gentlemen, check it out.
Please don't hand your powers over to the world, whatever forums. That's exactly what they want you to do. Fear, fear, fear. Now, oh, we'll take care of it. And I think they have such an incompetent, lazy audience in our country that they're going to probably get away with it. It's sad.
They do, because what's happened here, and I blame a lot of things on this left right paradigm, people believing in it in terms of politics. But from what I can gather, just sticking to that, people get caught up in this two choice deal. Doesn't matter if it's atheism, religion, uh, left, right, Democrat, Republican. There's all kinds of two choices that you get. The truth's usually the third choice, fourth or fifth, and I've said that before. But the thing is, with this political paradigm, the reason why I find it to be so dangerous, to the point that I'm starting my camera, um, is it has such a hold on people that if they're somebody from their side or somebody they admire as a progressive or a libertarian or fill in the blank says something, then they can't possibly be wrong. So there must be really a need for a shot, or there really must be something going around because so and so said it. They don't step out of that, and politics is just not the solution. They're all puppets. It's even not getting esoteric or getting into anything like weird, like reptilians rule the planet or something like that. Um, it's their donors to whom they're beholden, not us. So you don't even have to go deep or get into the secret societies, which really do run the world. I mean, that's easy to show. Um, you can just follow the money. Why don't people follow the money and look at the revolving door in terms of the pharmaceutical, what I call big shoe usually because I talk in code language, but the pharmaceutical has such a hold. They fund the medical schools. The Rockefeller medicine came in what, like in the 1930s, and
Hmm.
took over and got rid of the natural remedy doctors, I guess you'd say. And it's all based like petroleum based stuff to help push the petro pharma thing. I don't know how to say it, but you know what I mean. It's just follow the money like you would anywhere else. But they've done studies too where something like a pandemic can really grab the minds of people. They're terrified of getting sick. Something's invisible floating around, going to dive down into you like a heat-seeking missile. That's how you really, really scare society. And if you don't think that the controllers of this world know psychology and the way the human mind really works, then you're nutty.
Yep, they do.
So,
They got us wrapped around their little finger that way. And here's the other thing that really I just have to question. Why do so many believe that these governments and world forums and whatever they are care about you? Why do you keep thinking that? I don't get it.
blows my mind too. Gee, keep going.
Well, it's just that simple. The only people that care about you is you and yours, which is your immediate family. And that's really about it. When you walk out the door, does your neighbors go, "Oh, Mrs. Jones, I saw the air was low in your tire. Let me fix that for you." "Oh, Mrs. Jones, you look a little peaked today. Let me get you some tea." No, our neighbors don't do that. So why do you think somebody
Well,
who's
mine
sitting,
does.
well,
Mine
okay,
does. It's my mom.
well, that's your immediate family. But I'm talking, general neighbors. But yes, your immediate family, of course, looks after you. But yet, these people could care less. As a matter of fact, they want you to get sick. That's when they make their money. They don't want you healthy. And they have. And I am the first to raise my hand at eating terribly, all the stuff and crap they sell us in those grocery stores. I'm really trying to walk away from it and cook, more authentic and healthier at home, slowly but surely. And, take care of myself because I said in my last show, Lisa, I went to a doctor in 2016 and I was severely disappointed with the whole process and came out absolutely empty handed after $800 later. And I said, well, I can fix myself for much cheaper. And I asked others about, do you have these symptoms? Do you have family members that have these symptoms? And what did they find out? And lo and behold, I came across a woman. Her uncle had the same symptoms as me. I looked it up. I started remedying myself with that particular health problem, and I overcame it.
You know what? I had something similar happen, or as some people say, similar. Anyhow, I won't get onto that right now. Quickly, I have a pain condition. It's very rare. And I went through the whole, I mean, I couldn't believe the different doctors and the procedures and the thing and checking all kinds of jazz, okay, for this pain that was manifesting on my pelvic floor. I'll be clinical. And turns out the way that I found out what I actually had was process of elimination using, of course, the Western medicine technique of being tested and having to do this and check your bladder and check your thing and, blah, blah, blah. And then I looked up some symptoms, I think it was, and I found this woman who had the same thing. And it turns out that I learned, more about it, blah, 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 blah. And there is like a physical therapy you can do to help yourself out, and even some chiropractical work on it. One chiropractor around here had heard of it, and he actually helped a woman totally. Lately, it's been pretty good. Maybe it's because I lost a lot, that weight.
Yeah.
And, I do take a natural remedy, which is legal, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, here in Pennsylvania. Starts with a K, ends in an And yeah, so that helps with it as well. But sometimes it creeps through, but it's not as hideous. But I had to do the same thing you did.
Yeah.
Process
Yeah.
of elimination going through all this. I don't know why people have all this faith in their doctors. Like the other night, whenever the fellow 4321 or whatever on the live gig
Yes.
was saying, well, my doctor would disagree with you. Of course they would. Doctors are,
In the business.
yeah, and it's not that they're bad. It's not that they're terrible people. I don't want people to get that idea. It's just
No.
they're in a bubble and they went to medical school and they learned the Rockefeller medicine and, all that. And so that's their little bubble that they float around, in which they float around. And then it's almost like the service. And since you were in the service, you can maybe back me up here. Whenever they're going to medical school, the hours are ridiculous. They have to study for tests, take all the stuff. They don't get any sleep. And then they go to their internship and they might have, I don't know how, a year or so on the emergency room where it's just back to back shifts, no sleep. It's really a form of indoctrination. And I think it is similar to boot camp. Am I wrong?
Yes, I would call it a cult.
Right.
Sleep deprivation, overworking, not being, eating properly are all the signs of a cult.
Exactly. Yeah. And I really
Oh
admire,
my God, I just described the United States.
oh, yeah, you did. Russia. Oh, my God. The Russians are coming. The Russians are coming.
Yeah. Yeah. After we're done with this place, they aren't going to even want us.
There's a doctor named Dr. Andrew Kaufman. And way in the beginning of this, which seems like 1,000 years ago, but it was only a year ago, somebody turned me on to him. I think it was a German new medicine lady. She said, listen to Dr. Andrew Kaufman. We'll get into that another time. And he has a theory. It's called the exosome theory, where what they are calling a virus is actually an exosome. And just because it's present doesn't mean it's harmful. It's like saying that because a fireman is present at a burning building that he started the fire. Do you see what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Where, some do, of course, the arsonist firemen, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
Just like guilt by association when it could be a good thing that's there to help you out. What I admire about him is he went through regular Rockefeller Medical School and he did a little bit of oncology. That sounds fun, a little bit of oncology and some other things. And he ended up in psychiatry. And he was figuring out that the medication wasn't helping people. So he started to step out of the paradigm and really look into this from outside the bubble. And he came to the realization that what things that we've been talking about the pharmaceutical hold on things, and really learned the history of it. And like in terms of the inoculations, they don't learn any of the ingredients or any of that stuff. They just learn a schedule. So it's not like a lot of people think doctors are big scientists that dig into this and that, and they don't. But I admire him for stepping away from that. Now he's embracing other things, teaching about it. And recently he has garnered a lot of knowledge about German new medicine, and he's changing his paradigm when presented with more evidence. And people do not do that. It's so rare for them to do it.
No, you're right. For many reasons, it's rare because first of
I
all,
might put a link to him when we're done.
okay, yeah, it's like you learn something and you want to base your thought process on that learning. You paid for it, and you don't really want to break outside of the box for many reasons because you don't want to rock the boat. Your other associates will look down upon you. You won't be invited to the parties, and also you feel like you've learned enough. You don't need to keep stretching, even though they do have doctors go back every year. It's a preliminary. Trust me, these are preliminary classes. There's nothing that makes them stretch their mind too hard to re-up their practicing license. I love that the other night. I learned that word.
Yeah, it was good. And I have to give a shout out to Leo Medic, because I think he is so diplomatic and you can feel that he really cares.
Oh,
The
yes.
way he explained things, and because Leo medic, clearly he was a medic and has a lot of training, and for him to kind of step back from that, just like Dr. Kaufman did, I really admire that. And I like the way that, oh, I'm sorry, that he added to the conversation. What is this? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know it's kind of alarming. Hold on a second. I have to get to that page. It's behind me here somewhere. I brought it up, so it's got to
Well,
be
it's
there.
okay. Meanwhile, while you're looking, I'll just say that I am going to share a link to the German New Medicine website and to
Here we go.
Dr. Andrew Kaufman. Okay, go.
Okay. So speaking of taking care of yourself and eating properly, there's an alarming look at what's coming, food shortages. And they are speculating, if you see right here, that we're going to have to spend per household $695 more a year in 2021. Excuse me. This year reports forecasts of meat and vegetables jumping 6.5% and bakery. Oh, yeah, I've already noticed it. Everything in bakery now is gone up at least $1. Meat, I don't even have to tell you. Vegetables, I know they're cheaper in some areas of the country. Cities, not so much. You're paying for them to bring it all the way into a big area. And vegetables can be expensive. But the point being is this whole connection with the COVID lockdowns.
I'm sorry, that was
Are,
funny.
I know, I know. Oh, I have to tell you this. I'm digressing. The other night I watched the Go Go's documentary. It's brilliant, by the way, if you ever are into the Go Go's, the all girl band. But today, earlier when you were talking about, getting the jab, I kept hearing in my mind, we got the jab. I'm sorry, I digress.
Oh my God, now that's funny because I always change words to songs, as you
I
know.
know. It just kind of and I'll tell you right now, Belinda Carlisle is awake. I can tell you right
Is she
now.
really? Because most of those people just go with the That's another clue, ladies and gentlemen. If everybody that's in celebrity status is going along with the program, you better raise an eyebrow.
Yes, raise an eyebrow to the ones who are going along with it because they're in the club.
I mean,
Okay?
I'm
And
really proud Van Morrison is not going with it. I'm
oh
can't get
yeah.
over. Yeah, it's great.
So, but anyway, it's talking about, shortages. And I said previously, it won't be the growing end of things. It's going to be the distribution because they may well really close down trade, exports, and such. There's already economies and different areas that have already done that. And so you will be seeing things either extremely highly priced when you get them, i.e., something like bananas, or you won't see them at all. And they're also saying, I don't know if many people know this, but they have an allowance of bugs in your food. Yes, it's true. You can
I did
have,
know that actually. I heard
yeah, I
that.
think it was really like 11 or 12%. It's kind of a strange, percentage, but yeah, and it's mostly in grains because as wheat and corn and all of that sit in silos, they get bugs. They get most of them out through a filter, but if a few get through, oh well, and you just eat them. It's all in your meal. Well, they're going to up that percentage. Just letting you know that they're going to, yes, let them eat bugs. They're either going to encourage people to eat certain edible insects as they are, but like mealworms, you eat them half the time anyway. But yeah, they're going to up that. And yeah, so here again, I'm just saying, please have enough food for you and your family and your pets that can probably last at least 6 months. That is what it took the Soviet Union to finally get back in gear and get some food on the shelves. 6 months. Just think about what you eat averagely in a week. And
That's a good point. And if you grow your own food, don't tell anyone about it. Anyhow, I just want to share one thing, but keep talking. Well, I just want to share
oh,
one
sure.
little paragraph, and then, as far as I'm concerned, we can be done. But it's up to you.
Okay. I have one more thing I just wanted to say.
Okay, go ahead and do that while I get this thing ready.
Okay, I have a share screen. Okay, Lisa and I were talking earlier about the Tacoma police incident that happened the other day. The police ran over people, and it's all over the news, and everybody's got their comments on it. Okay, well, I don't know if many people heard about this particular incident that happened a day and a half ago. A driver was going down the street here in Portland, and he hit six people, and one woman in her 70s died. But you don't hear about that. You don't hear about this little independent citizen going crazy and the police had to stop him. They had to run him, as you can see, into a car or something to get him to stop. That
Holy
never,
Ghost. Wow, I'm sorry.
yeah, that doesn't make the news. But if a Tacoma police officer who gave them plenty of notice and warning that he needed to come through, and they actually saw some of them stood in his way, and he did. He shoved them and kind of ran them over. Well, I'm not encouraging anybody to run anybody over. Please don't get me wrong here. But if you're standing in the middle of the street and somebody finally gets pissed off and runs you over, I'm not sure which one of you is more stupid. Just saying.
Well, let me interject because
Yes, please.
it's not that I disagree with you, but I'm saying here's the deal. You know that a lot of our police where they're trained, right?
Yes, by Mossad.
Yeah, in the state of or the alleged state of Israel. So things like that have to change, or things aren't going to brighten up anytime soon. But I'm going to go ahead and try to share this right now. I'll show my face as I do it.
Oh,
Hello,
yeah, I
ladies.
guess I should do that
Show
too.
your face. I'm going to try to.
Yes.
I just want to read this closing thing from Andrew or whatever, or whatever. Okay. I'm getting a little bit better at this, I think, because of the live gigs. Now, let me come back here and make it huge. It is huge. Oh, goody gumdrops. Okay, this is. I'm sorry, I am going to just stop my cam. This is a part of a larger article, and I do recommend this website. It's cvpandemicinvestigation.com. A fellow named Andrew Johnson across the pond started it. Wow, last April or something. He published me. I wrote what I call a term paper column, and he thought it was good enough for him to publish on here. So it just blah, 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 blah. Basically, the gist of it all is knowledge and belief, freedom and slavery. And I'm just going to read this one paragraph because I think it's important. People get confused on terms. They get confused on the word theory and evidence, those two, and of course, knowledge and belief. And according to what G Sharp looks into, like the woo, or not really the woo, but the astrology, I believe we're leaving the knowledge and entering the belief. Am I right or wrong?
We're leaving belief into I know.
Okay, well, yeah, knowledge. Okay, so here goes. I'm just going to read this one thing and then come back and say my goodbyes. Knowledge and belief, freedom and slavery. For those of us that have been peeling back the narrative layers within the commonly accepted stories or accounts about important issues that concern us all, there is a saying, quote, the truth will set you free, end quote. Some people like to add, quote, but first it will piss you off, pardon the language. I agree with this observation sentiment, but like to express or describe it in a different way. A way which helps me to understand why we may feel freed when we learn the truth about something. To me, the freedom is based on possession of knowledge, which displaces the possession of belief. I have, more recently, been trying to state more clearly how important it is to differentiate between belief and knowledge. It is important to make sure you understand and appreciate whether you have knowledge about an issue, belief about an issue, or a mixture of both, which is possible. In interviews, my friend Dr. Judy Wood has often stated, quote, know what it is that you know, end quote. Another way of saying this might be, quote, don't confuse knowledge with belief, end quote. When we hear accepted narratives being challenged in the mainstream media, it is the norm for interviewers or presenters to use the word belief or believe when really they should be using the word knowledge or know. In other words, where an important narrative promoted by a group with an agenda is being analyzed or discussed, knowledge can be downgraded to belief. And I think that is a very important thing to know. And I am done.
Yeah, that was great. Absolutely. We need to, like I said, put new goggles on and look at things differently. And bottom line, figure it out for yourself. Don't listen to what people are telling you, because at this point it is just scrambled eggs out there.
It really is. And that's a part of the agenda too, I think. We can talk about that on our next show.
Absolutely. So, in the meantime, and stay
Stay frosty.
frosty.
How's that for casual?